Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the MTG Goldfish Podcast, episode 138, your weekly podcast covering everything Magic the Gathering related. You can find us on Google Play, iTunes, mtggoldfish.com, and now on YouTube. So, with that being said, the crew is joining you as always. Richard, the owner of MTG Goldfish. What is up, Richard?
Hey guys, what's going on?
Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, our resident jank brewer and all-around content creator. What is up, Seth?
How's it going, guys?
How's it going? And Chaz, all-around content creator focusing on the financial aspect of the game. What is up, gentlemen? Busy week. It's a really busy week. We have a lot to talk about. More Ixalan spoilers or previews just keep trickling in. So we have decided to talk about a specific few cards. Hope everyone in the U.S. had a great Labor Day. We apologize for the delay, but the podcast will now be up. So sorry for not having it be up on the normal time. That will bring us into, so after Ixalan cards, that'll bring us into a brief announcement for Magic Arena, which will be happening on Thursday, September 7th, and we'll just briefly talk about it. And then Fish Mail. So, gentlemen, let's talk about Ixalan.
Alright, so PAX happened, and the only thing of note at PAX was one Magic the Gathering panel, and they revealed our new Planeswalker, Huatli, Warrior Poet, 3 red and a white, so 5 CMC, 3 loyalty, legendary Planeswalker, Huatli, +2, you gain life equal to the greatest power among creatures you control, 0, create a 3/3 green dinosaur creature token with trample, -X, Huatli deals X damage divided as you choose among any number of target creatures. Creatures dealt damage this way can't block this turn.
I know of the three of us, you really like this one, Seth. I know we all have our thoughts on this, but you've been really excited about this card.
So I think this card is better than it looks. I'm not going to say it's like a broken Planeswalker or a great Planeswalker or anything, but I think it's better than it looks. I think a lot of people see the gain life plus and are like, life gain is bad, this card is bad, but I think that the 0 make a 3/3 is actually a super powerful ability. If there's one thing that we've learned about Planeswalkers, look at Gideon, Ally of Zendikar, Elspeth, Knight Errant. Planeswalkers that can repeatedly make tokens without losing loyalty are usually pretty good just based on that ability alone, and 3/3s with trample is actually a really strong token to be making. It doesn't take that many of them to get your 5 mana value, and then the ultimate, I think, it's like Aurelia's Fury, which that might be a sad comparison because it never really worked out, but it comes down, just makes it so your opponents can't block and you swing in and win the game. So I actually think this has potential to be better than people seem to think it is. Because I've seen a lot of people kind of lukewarm on it. It's not Gideon, it's not Nahiri, but I think it's playable in Standard.
It's like a 5 mana Gideon. I think she's good, but what holds her back is she's 5 mana. At 5 mana, you can only put so many in your deck. But just coming down and preventing any blocks, say you're playing Mardu vehicles and somehow you get to 5 mana, like you put this down, they can't block, you just Alpha Strike. Or you put this down, you create 3/3 trample tokens, and then you Alpha Strike. So I think she's good, but I don't think she's going to dominate Standard or anything like that just because she's 5 mana. Like, think Ob Nixilis or something. Like, Ob Nixilis is a good Planeswalker, and you saw him in, like, one deck as, like, a 1 or 2 of, and, like, that's it. It's just, there's not that much room for a 5 mana Planeswalker. You're not going to be ramping into her. It's not like a Karn or something where she just ends the game. So she's just going to be in some mid-range decks or some aggro decks, and I think you'll see her around, but she's not going to be the face of Standard like Gideon or Liliana or something like that.
Yeah, I don't think the face of Standard, but I do like the comparison, obviously, to Ob Nixilis, because Huatli definitely has some utility. And to me, it feels like they always make these Boros Planeswalkers really interesting. I mean, if you look back, I think like every Boros Planeswalker is a lot different than just the normal Planeswalker template. So I really like the fact that this isn't just a general like copy and paste Ob Nixilis. Here's 3 like Boros abilities, and here you go. There's certainly a way to play Huatli, and it's not very straightforward. And I think that's why, like you said, Seth, people are really lukewarm.
I think my biggest concern is Glorybringer. It seems like she very directly competes with Glorybringer, and I'm not sure that she's better than Glorybringer as the top end of an aggro deck. That's my biggest concern.
I do think they can both coexist, though, in the same list. Like, in a more of a mid-range list. Maybe not in an aggro list, but definitely a mid-range list.
Yeah, it's just a challenge of how many 5-drops can you run? Like, how many total 5s? And I don't know. I guess you can do a split, like 2 Glorybringers, 2 Huatlis, something like that. But I don't know. That's my biggest concern is just Glorybringer's a really good Magic card.
I mean, she could be sideboard and board out those Glorybringers, bring in Huatli against control-ish decks where, shooting creatures is not as relevant.
I actually think the life gain is surprisingly good against aggro, too. If you're playing a big, imagine, Carnage Tyrant or something. If you can get one activation of the plus with a big thing like that out, that's going to really be hard for a deck like Ramen Bread to keep up with.
I think that's the dream scenario, that you have a 7/6 on the board already. I mean, I think if you just have a dinosaur, if you plus her, you gain 3 life from the dinosaur, plus you have 5 loyalty of Planeswalker. That's 8 already. That's enough to buy you a lot of time against really aggressive decks. So I don't think you actually need some crazy creature on the field. Just like a 3/3 or something would put a damper in aggro plans.
I mean, even just Heart of Kirin. Play this, crew your Heart of Kirin with loyalty, +2, gain 4. That's a big swing against aggro.
I do like that a lot. Yeah, I mean, it definitely has some play there, and you should bring in some number of these against an aggressive list like that. I mean, this is just basically what it's for, and like I said, I mean, its number one biggest threat is Glorybringer, but it also is in the same color, so it does work well against Glorybringer. So if you know your opponent's playing any number of Glorybringers, you might not want to bring this in. Or maybe you still do bring in 1 copy or something.
The other big thing to remember is a lot of competition is rotating. Nahiri's gone, Gideon's gone. Yep. We're losing so many of the best Planeswalkers that lists are going to be looking for something to fill the void. And even if Huatli isn't quite Gideon level, because it's a little more expensive, the +1 isn't as aggressive, decks are still going to be looking for that top-end Planeswalker. So I think that gives a big boost. We got to consider rotation when we're evaluating it, too, and just how many good options are leaving the format.
Absolutely.
All right, the most important question. How do you feel about the 3/3 dinosaur token? That's the same size as a beast. That's just 1 power more than a grizzly bear. What?
Hey, don't knock grizzly bear.
This should have been at least a 4/4, or they should have called it, I don't know, crappy dinosaur token. Why is this dinosaur so small?
It's like a baby dinosaur. Dinosaurs got to be babies at some point.
Yeah, it's true.
And they should have made a baby dinosaur token, but
I think I think Richard is kind of right here. We've had other 5-mana walkers. Maybe they're in green, so it has a little bit to do with that. But a couple of Nissas have been able to make 4/4s and 5/5s, right?
Yeah, but they're usually legendary
just
or
learning
something.
to control her spark. She can't summon the big dinos yet. She can only make 3/3s.
Oh, actually, that's a really good question. How does Huatli even know that she can planeswalk? Or is a planeswalker? How do Ixalan walkers know they're walkers?
She doesn't.
If they can't leave.
No, I think she knows of other worlds. She just can't go there. We know about the moon, but we physically can't go to the moon.
Oh, my spark ignited. What can I do with this? Oh, I can't do anything. Okay.
It's just watching Jason Ravnica. It's who is this guy? Why does he have half a shirt on?
I really can't wait for Vraska. I'm so excited for Vraska. Hopefully they kept Vraska black-green. I really hope so.
All right, we got another mythic last week. Wakening Sun's Avatar, 5 white, so 8. Converted mana cost, 7/7, Dinosaur Avatar. When Wakening Sun's Avatar enters the battlefield, if you cast it from your hand, destroy all non-dinosaur creatures.
I mean... I guess,
strictly
if you wanted to
dinosaur
pay...
tribal card.
If you wanted to pay, I guess, 3 more mana to add a 7/7 onto your Fumigate, this is cool.
No. You're looking at it wrong. It's for Dinosaur Tribal, and the big deal is you kill all your opponent's stuff, and your dinosaurs live, and you just kill your opponent when you cast it. I mean, obviously it's 8 mana, which is naturally limiting, but if you're playing Dinosaur Ramp, I think this card is super, super strong. It's think of it like Descend Upon the Sinful, basically. That's a little bit more mana and one-sided.
So this is what's replacing Ugin or Ulamog. All right. Hey, maybe if this is the caliber of the like top end stuff, maybe they can unban Aetherworks Marvel.
Oh no,
What?
please no.
You're saying so? Aetherworks Marvel in Awakening Sun's avatar is that's
It
like
doesn't work,
still super
right?
broken?
You don't cast from your hand with Marvel.
Oh man! Oh, so then it's fine.
They saw that. They're like, nope. We're bringing back Marvel.
Yeah.
Fix Awakening Sun's avatar.
I mean,
Well, so then Marvel should be fine.
so you all were playing Standard competitively back then. Did Reaver Demon back in Mirrodin, was that played at all anywhere? I'm assuming no because of Affinity, but
I don't
this
even
is
know what
very
that
much
card
like
is.
Reaver Demon.
No, it was not played. Well, it was like, okay, so Tooth and Nail decided to start bringing in a bunch of like different one-ofs because it could. For Tooth and Nail, they would bring in like I can't remember now, like the big 5/6 like bounce 2 creatures. They'd bring in like
Hoverguard
Mephidros.
Sweepers.
Hoverguard Sweepers. There we go. Nice, good memory. It would bring in like Mephidros, Vampire, and Triskelion. It would start bringing in a ton of different stuff. I think Reaver Demon was sometimes brought in, but I mean Affinity. It was so bad, but it did beat up on the red decks. Like it would take out all the Arc Sloggers, all that stuff. So yes, Arc Slogger was a card that was played in Magic at one point. How crazy is that, right?
All right.
So I don't know. If you're Dino Ramp, I think it's good, and I'll leave it at that.
I say
Okay,
it's still
that's
bad
fine.
because there's going to be random dinosaurs that you can't wrath.
Well,
You know,
Yeah, I
such
mean-
as the 3/3 baby dinosaur tokens from Huatli.
well, you could do some Naya shenanigans. You got Drover of the Mighty. It adds any of one color, so the triple white shouldn't be that bad. Huatli gives you dinosaurs, so it's always like a 3/3. I think you got something cooking here.
All right, moving on to the official MTG Goldfish preview, which we published this morning. Thematic Compass, 2-mana artifact, pay 3, tap it, search your library for a basic land, reveal it, put it in your hand, shuffle your library. At the beginning of your end step, if you control 7 or more lands, transform it. It turns into a land, Spires of Orezka. Tap it to add a colorless. Tap it to untap target attacking creature and opponent controls and remove it from combat.
I like this. It's really reminiscent of like Bajuka Gardener. Baduka Gardener? I can't remember what the card is now. It was the flip card from Kamigawa.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I think the best comparison
Yeah.
is actually Journeyer's Kite. It is quite literally
that too, yeah.
Journeyer's Kite on the front half, and then pretty much Maze of Ith on the back half. Like, that's the closest comparison, I think.
Yep. I like it. I mean, 2 Kamigawa cards. What do you know? Wrapped into one card. No, I do. Well, first of all, I like the flip mechanic in this set, turning into lands. I think that's really flavorful, and we were talking about that before the cast, so I just want to throw that out there.
I think that this card can potentially be good, but I think it really depends on the meta. It seems really good in controlling matchups in a control deck. If you can just use it to generate card advantage, you always want to hit your land drops. You can leave up your counters, leave up your removal, do this end of your opponent's turn. And then eventually the land, we haven't seen any land destruction yet. I'm wondering if we're going to get like a Ghost Quarter or Tech Edge. But if you get Spires of Orzhaka on the battlefield, it's going to be really hard for your opponent to kill you with Torrential Gearhulks or like the very limited number of finishers. So I think in control decks against mid-ranger control, this card can be really good. On the other hand, if you're playing against Ramanamp Red, this card is utterly unplayable. You'll just die, you'll play it, you'll like, get one land, and you'll be dead. So I think we gotta see what the metagame looks like to see how good it'll be as a main deck card, but I think it has a chance in Standard, and super sweet in Commander.
Tech Edge and Ghost Quarter, Seth, we have Star of Extinction. What are you talking about? That's our land.
Pretty much the
That's
same.
our land destruction. Yeah, come on.
I really hope they print land. I can see 2 control decks just stalling out with like 4 Spires on each side, and all they have are Gearhulks, and they're just counting cards to see who naturally decks the other guy first.
Yeah, you gotta play 61 cards in your control deck for the mirror.
Yep.
All we need is one of these to turn into like a Drown Yard, and we should be good.
Oh, that would be sweet.
They
I
are
like the
really
flavor.
pushing
I
the
really
lands.
like the flavor. You use your compass to find the spires of Orska. I love it. Next card, Chaz. We have a black almost Hell Rider and Sanctum Seeker. 2 black, 3/4 Vampire Knight. Whenever a vampire you control attacks, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. So, no haste. The most important part of Hell Rider. But it hits all opponents. And you gain some life.
It does. It's only vampires, though.
Yes, only vampires.
Doesn't die to lightning strike, so that's nice. Yeah. What was that? What was the mythic from Fate, like Brutal Horde Chief or something like that?
Yep.
That didn't see any play, did it?
That was also Mardu or something.
I
mean,
don't know. It could be fine. It could be fine. I just don't know. Do we have any other decent vampires yet? Like, we have that 5-drop. I think we have a 3-drop.
It's odd, but vampires so far is the tribe that we've seen the least of in the spoilers. Like, we've seen quite a ton of pirates, quite a few merfolk, but not very many vampires. So I think that's a big question. If vampires are good, I think this card's going to be a great finisher. But are we going to have enough vampires? That's the big question.
Well, Soren's not in the set, so you're not going to have a vampire planeswalker.
Well, no, but it should be okay. I mean, the good thing is this is in standard for still a little while longer. We get another set of Ixalan, right? Do we get 2 different sets of Ixalan?
Yes, we have another Ixalan this winter, yep.
Okay, so there's still some time to get some vampires. I mean, we have Mavrin Fane. We have the 2-mana, the Blood Crazed Paladin. So we have some stuff.
And actually, a couple of the Aetherborn from previous sets are vampires.
Oh,
especially
yeah,
Gifted
you're right.
Aetherborn is actually a very strong 2-drop, and that's a vampire.
Yeah.
Also, Yahani is a vampire.
You're right. Oh, okay. So we have some stuff. We got some stuff cooking. I like Bishop of Rebirth, actually, too. We can get like a mid-range-ish vampire list, maybe.
The thing is, I think that this card, Sanctum Seeker, really wants to be the top end of an aggro deck. I think that's where it's good is when you're like 1-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop, play this, you get 3 damage and gain 3 right away, keep doing that and hopefully win the game. Like, I think that's where you want it to be.
Or
Aristocrats. You could definitely
imagine if they reprinted Blood Artist.
That would be
you just suicide your whole squad and you're like, whatever, I want them all to die anyway, and you get some extra triggers with Sanctum Seeker.
Ooh, we already got Yahani as a sack outlet? That could work if we get a Blood Artist.
It's good. And like, so we just need a couple, there's no 1-drops, right? Like, we can go the Gifted Aetherborn into Yahani or Mavrin into this, and then we maybe play like 1 or 2 Bishop of Rebirth. I really like Bishop of Rebirth. That's not a terrible card.
And we also have, I mean, I don't know if it'll work, but we do have the Vampire Lingering Souls.
Call the Feast. 4 mana Orzhov card, create 3/1/1 white vampire creature tokens with lifelink. Not quite
maybe.
Souls, but
That's a lot of drain triggers.
Yeah, and Mavrin just keeps making 1/1 lifelinkers that you keep sacking to Yahani.
The other thing that's super sweet, if they do go Aristocrats, and this one's going a little bit more deep, but they printed, oh man, I'm trying to find the card. It's a 6-mana uncommon vampire. It's a 4/4 flyer, but you can tap 3 vampires, and it comes back to your hand for free if you tap 3 vampires. So there might be some sort of... Yeah, so that offers some interesting possibilities as well if you're playing a sacrifice-themed deck.
But you have to somehow cast this thing to begin with, or get it in your graveyard.
You know what? I'm really hating that we're losing. What's the sacrifice 3? That the transform card? Oh, what was that one? It was so good.
Oh, the 6/5 or whatever? What's it?
Yeah, I'm so sad that card's leaving.
I can't recall its name.
I can't remember it either.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The Shadows one, the one that flips and then you can sack, and they sack 3 creatures.
Dredge card, yeah.
Oh, yeah, Voldemar and Praya.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah. I'm so sad that's leaving now.
Yeah, that would be really sweet.
All right, another vehicle, Conqueror's Galleon. It flips into a land. It's a four converted mana cost or four generic mana. It's a 2/10 artifact vehicle. When it attacks, exile at the end of combat, then return to the battlefield transformed under your control. Crew 4. Flips into Conqueror's Foothold. It's a land. Tap to add a colorless. Pay 2, tap, draw a card, then discard. Pay 4, tap, draw a card. Pay 6, tap, return target card from your graveyard to your hand.
This is pretty cool. I wish it wasn't Crew 4, but I like that it only needs to attack, and then you get like a Staff of Domination Trader Post, like /land. It's really strong. The land is really strong.
That's one of the craziest lands I've ever seen. Like,
Yeah.
The challenge is getting to the land, but that land seems so incredibly strong in any sort of slower deck. So much value.
EDH staple? I cannot see why you, if you're
I
playing
think
creatures,
so.
I don't see why you would not play this.
Yeah, I think so. If you're playing a good amount of creatures in a deck, I think you pretty much just have to throw one of these in there.
Oh, I was just looking up Moon Mist. I was like, can you just cheat the transform on half of these cards? But Moon Mist only transforms humans.
Oh, no.
It only transforms humans.
So
Missed
close.
opportunity.
But it's a 2/10. It's probably going to live in combat. And
It blocks
just your luck,
everything.
your opponent will play Ambush Viper and kill you.
Oh, no. They just upgrade this. That would be the worst.
Do you
That would
think
be
it's
just
standard
the
playable
worst.
in like a control
No.
deck or anything, or ramp deck?
The problem is,
I doubt it.
I think there's a chance. I think the land payoff is worth it. The problem is, if you look at control decks, they just don't play many creatures, and those are the decks that really would love Conqueror's Foothold. It would be so insane in a control deck. So I just don't know how you crew this if you're playing a typical control deck. Maybe as like a one of in a mid-range deck. Quite possibly it could show up if Metalwork Colossus makes a comeback. We got the new vehicle tutor thing. It adds mana for your Metalwork Colossus. Maybe it's something that could show up there. So I think there's a chance, but oh man, the crew cost is just really high.
You can play this in like blue-black control, maybe a one of. Like you can play this on 4, play your Scarab God turn 5, crew this up, get your Conqueror's Foothold.
I mean, if you get a Conqueror's Foothold, I don't know how you lose with a control deck. Like, the value on that is just so absurd.
Because you spent the first 4 turns trying to get this land into play.
No, it's fine. You still have Scarab God.
All right, moving on to a very exciting reprint, Lightning Strike. 1 in a red, instant,
Yes.
deals 3 damage to target creature or player. We are in the era where we pine for Lightning Strike.
Finally, this had to have made it in like late in in the development of this set. Like it had.
It feels so wrong to be happy for Lightning Strike. Like, it wasn't that long ago we were like, oh, maybe we can get a Lightning Bolt again. And now the community's rejoicing because we got Lightning Strike back in Standard. It is sweet, though. Like, it feels so weird to say this, but as far as Standard goes, that is about as good as it gets for burn spells.
Yeah, it's uncommon. It was last printed at common, right?
Yeah, and Theros.
So that affects
Yep.
limited. 4 toughness, suddenly very relevant.
Wait, was it there? No, I think it was in one of those M sets, right?
No, it was in Theros. I think Theros or something. No, Magic Origins?
No, it was Theros.
What was it?
No.
I don't know, hold on.
M14, M13,
Theros and M15.
M15. Yeah, see, I
Ooh.
but yeah, this has to be a really exciting. Like this is one of the most exciting parts of this set already.
Best spoiler of the week, Lightning Strike.
I think so. I think it's like crazy to say that, and I just think they realized that like open fires is not going to cut it. And I've been saying this for a while that we need Lightning Strike, so I'm really glad. But now, Ravenat Red was so good even without Lightning Strike. I don't know. So we'll see. Could get a little crazy.
I definitely make sure that Ramanat Bread's going to be around, because they lost Incendiary Flow, but now they get to actually upgrade now that they lost Incendiary Flow with Lightning Strike, so...
Yeah, they actually upgraded, which is kind of nuts.
All
Man,
right.
there's so many good uncommons in this set.
There really is.
Moving on to an uncommon, Siren Storm Tamer. It's a blue, so 1 converted mana cost, 1/1, Siren Pirate Wizard, flying, Blue, sacrifice Siren Storm Tamer, counter target spell or ability that targets a creature you control or yourself. So, Judge's Familiar, Curse Catcher kind of type Siren Pirate Wizard.
Yeah, I like this. You have to play a blue, you have to pay a blue for the ability, which kind of sucks, but it does have flying. And these cards have been really successful in most standards. Like, they normally always see play.
Yeah, I mean, I think this card's really good. And one of the interesting things is when we saw Admiral Beckett Brass last week, we were kind of like, how are you ever going to steal things with it? But having evasive creatures actually makes your Lord way better because you can fly over and then steal your opponent's best creatures. So I think this card is actually going to be close to a staple in Pirates if Pirates work. Like, I don't see why you wouldn't play this as one of your 1-drops in a Pirate deck in Standard.
Yeah, you wouldn't. It can just slot into a lot of aggressive lists.
It's okay. The fact you have to pay mana really, really kills it because when you tap out for your 2-drop, they'll just kill your 2-drop and you basically have a 1/1. So it's not Judge's Familiar. I think you actually need some kind of synergy to play this. So Pirate deck or something where you have Lords or you actually have an important target to protect. But I think the 1 mana makes a big deal because you're not going to hold that 1 mana up the entire game. You're going to need to tap out, and then they can just do whatever they want to do at that point.
I think there's some, like, upside and downside, though, because the challenge with, like, Judge's Familiar and Mausoleum Wanderer is they're only 4 spikes. So while they're good at protecting you in the early game, sooner or later your opponent has so much mana that they just kind of become, I don't know, an annoyance. Like, your opponent easily can play around them. This is a hard counter. Like, if your opponent, you know, wants to Torment of Hailfire you for 12 mana, this stops it no matter how much mana your opponent has, which is a nice upside, and I think it might make it worth paying a mana for it, the fact that it's going to be a hard counter in the late game when Judge's Familiar wouldn't be very good.
Yep, and you can bring it back with, what was that bishop that Chaz was talking Bishop of Rebirth.
Yeah, you can
bring it back.
I like that.
And the more important
Blue-white
thing,
aggro.
it's a Siren Janky Tribal coming up. Is this the only Siren we've gotten? I don't think we've gotten that many Sirens.
So. I think you got the start of like blue-black aggro or blue X aggro. I mean, you have Siren Storm Tamer. You have, I don't know if a lot of other people saw this, but from the Planeswalker decks, you have Jace's Sentinel. No, this card's actually pretty good.
Actually,
pretty good.
Jace's Sentinel is a 2-mana 1/3 Merfolk Warrior. As long as you control a Jace Planeswalker, it gets +1/+0 and can't be blocked.
You have 1-drop, 2-drop, and then you have Jace. And then you draw a card because this has flying, and this will have unblockable.
Wait, you don't draw a card, you just loot, no?
Oh, you loot. Yeah,
well,
sure.
I mean, speaking of this, I'm going to dump one in your laps because this one just came out, but it fits so perfectly with what Chaz is saying. Kite Sail Freebooter, just spoiled as we're live. 2-mana 1/2 flyer in black, so 1 in a black. When it enters a battlefield, you duress your opponent until it leaves the battlefield, and exile that card until it leaves the battlefield. Uncommon.
So we have a 1/2 Mind Maggot, or Brain Maggot. What was the one from Journey?
Yeah, Brain Maggot with flying.
Brain Maggot with flying. I don't know. I think we're getting there. I think we're getting to like either Pirates or blue-black aggro, or we have something.
But blue-black aggro requires some kind of counter spell.
Censor. You got Censor.
Mana leak incoming.
We also had a Mythic spoiled, I think, just live.
Oh, we did?
As I'm talking right now.
Oh my god,
yeah.
This is the terrible time to podcast.
Yes, it was.
What is the Mythic?
We had a Mythic. It was a blue Mythic, Overflowing Insight. It is 4 generic and 3 blue. Target player draws 7 cards.
Ugh.
Ugh.
It's a Mythic.
I love drawing cards.
Is that really all it does?
That's a lot
What's
of
so
mana.
mythic about
That's
this?
all it does. It's a Mythic. Yep. And then a bunch of flavor text.
Huh. Is it instant?
It's a sorcery, too.
Oh my goodness.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Ugh. Well, you get our live reactions. Oh.
Ugh.
Yeah,
I'm just
that
gonna
is-
hope that Chaz
that's
read
not
that
that great.
wrong and it's actually like 4 mana, draw 7.
Yeah, I hope. Maybe this is a fake card, but I don't think so.
Oh man, that's
Yeah,
disappointing.
Overflowing Insight.
If it was an instant, I would at least be a little bit excited. But as a sorcery, I don't think you can play
7
that
mana,
card.
draw 7? Why would you be excited about that?
I mean, it's like on curve with pull from tomorrow, except you can't, have the flexibility.
Yeah,
but
the whole point is flexibility with those cards, right? Plus, it's
that's the
source
other
speed.
thing.
Oh.
You have pull from tomorrow in the format. Like, if you wanna draw a bunch of cards, why wouldn't you just pull from tomorrow? And that's a rare. Man, this is a horrible mythic. It doesn't even feel mythic. It's like, what is possibly good about this card?
Yeah, it's just like
It's
Jace's ingenuity pumped up. Like, I don't think it's mythic status. It doesn't.
but Jace's ingenuity was an instant.
Yeah, it was a good card.
Yeah, it wasn't bad at all. That's only a distraction from the actual good pirate stuff that we got, so it's no worries.
And
We're
you know, if
toning down
I
blue.
hate this
Blue's
card,
too
it's
strong.
bad.
Green can
Because-
only draw cards.
I love drawing cards
Yeah,
more than
no.
anything.
No, it's a real card. It's not like fake or anything, and I read it right. It's now circling the internet.
All right,
I
all right.
wish it
It's,
was
it's
fake.
definitely a thing. Ah.
Moving on.
But anyway, yeah, 1-drop, 2-drop, Jace, Beckett Brass.
Wait, so we on the Jace train now? I thought we said Jace was bad.
No,
Apparently Chaz is.
I'm on the Jace train. I'm on the Jace
We're
train.
putting those 2/2 illusion bear tokens into play.
Hey, well now you don't even need to protect it. You have like pirates.
Yeah, you don't need to protect it because it dies no matter what.
Yeah.
What's our next card?
All right, old growth dryads, 1 green, so it's 1 converted mana cost, just green. 3/3 dryad. When it enters the battlefield, each opponent may search his or her library for a basic land card and put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle his or her library. 1 mana.
All right, so just so
3/3.
we get this out of the way, Richard, does this have any place in anything outside of standard? Because that's probably where I would care.
No, I don't think it has a place in standard or in any.
That's what I
Unless
was going to
there's some
say.
deck
Not
that
standard.
kills your opponent for putting lands into play. The advantage you get for the extra power here, given that it's a 3/3, I think is far outweighed by the fact that your opponent got a free rampant growth, and with their extra mana, they can outclass this 3/3 quite easily.
Oh man, I just love that they've printed so many of these cards. I'm waiting to go to record Budget Magic or something and have someone go old growth dryads into wanted scoundrels, the thing that 2-drop that when it
Yeah.
dies you get 2 treasure tokens, and then you just kill them both and cast like, I don't know, your random 7-drop that draw 7. I can just draw 7 on turn 3. Thank you, opponent.
So between these few cards, you can give them a rampant growth. Then you give them 2 Lotus Petals, and then with Ronas' Last Stand, you give them a Time Walk.
Yep.
I think we got it. We got the deck. I think I tweeted this out. Yeah, we got it. We have the Scoundrels, we have the Dryad, and Ronas' Last Stand, and your opponent's going to love you. Because while
Hog
you're
standard deck. Let's do it.
when they fatal push your Scoundrels on turn 2, and then play their Scarab God on turn 3, everything's going to be going according to plan.
Oh man.
You play your Ronas' Last Stand, so you have a 5/4 to block the god, and then they get an extra turn to take all your stuff. Wait, but then they take your wanted Scoundrels and then give you 2 Lotus Petals. See how this works? This is great.
The worst part about this card is if it wasn't for the deserts, I could at least see the argument that this could be like a decent sideboard card against red decks. Like, what are they going to do with their mana anyway? But red decks, the aggro decks actually want a ton of land so they can sacrifice their deserts and deal damage to you. So it doesn't even have that going for
Right.
it.
Right.
Well, I'll take Lightning Strike 1-drop on turn 2. I mean, there's plenty of things I can do with my extra lands.
I love green cards, but I think this is missing the
Okay,
mark.
how much-
if it was a 4/4,
Okay, how much power
I think
does
it
this
needed to be a
need?
4/4.
Would you
I think it
play
needed to be a
4/4?
4/4. 4/4.
It's a tough sell with Fatal Push in the format. But as a 4/4, it's better because it doesn't die to a Braden Lightning Strike. So I think it would probably see some play as a 4/4.
I
Yeah,
don't think
Fatal
4/4 is
Push
enough.
negates a lot of stuff. Fatal Push negates a lot of stuff. This needs to at least be a 4/4.
It's still risky.
Like in any other normal scenario.
I mean, it just makes all of your opponent, like, Hero's Downfall becomes Doomblade. Like, Lightning Strike becomes
It does.
Lightning Bolt. Right? Like,
So-
Fatal Push is just free now. It's like Gitaxian Push or something. So
I would be-
that one land is worth a lot.
I wish this just gave your opponent the Lotus Petal, the treasure token. Then I would have a conversation about it. But getting a land, that's a permanent mana boost every turn from turn 1 for the rest of the game, and that's just so much value you're giving your opponent.
Are there any decks that don't play basics?
Not in standard.
Yeah, not in standard.
So no good.
Could you play this against? Does lands actually play any basics?
I think
like, could you play this against lands?
I think that they would Chalice of the Void you, but also, yes, they do have lands. They have a forest to deal with Blood Moon, I believe.
Like a 1 mana 3/3 is not worth the risk in Legacy.
I mean, in older formats, you have Wild Nikado, which is a 1 mana 3/3 with no drawback.
But it's not even
it's
that
so
good.
bad.
It's like Wild Nikado. Like, how many times has Wild Nikado won the game, like, just by playing one of them, right? Versus how many times will ramping your opponent when they actually do have a basic lose you the game.
I just can't get behind this card. I can't get behind Drover of the Mighty, another awesome green card, and uncommon, but I can't.
It's a rare, so.
It is a rare.
Alright, last spoiler. Seth calls it the least bad Bob we've had. Ruin Raider, 2 in a black, 3/2, Orc Pirate, Raid. At the beginning of your end step, if you attack with the creature this turn, reveal the top card of your library and put that card into your hand. Lose life equal to that card's converted mana cost.
This is pretty good. I mean, it's definitely a lot better than all the other attempts at Dark Confidant that we've seen over the past few years.
I think this might be the best card for standard that we've seen out of the whole set so far. At least close to it, if it's not. I think this card is super strong.
Yeah, I think if there's a black deck, it's a staple.
Yeah.
Because just attack, you don't have to hit, you don't have to do, you just need to attack, and a chump attack gives you a card. So it's, the barrier is very low. It reminds me of Sig River Cutthroat, where you do some stuff and then you cast it, then your opponent's like, oh no, you had that card, I should have probably did something, like killed your creature before combat. So you can surprise people with this as well.
Is Raid normally this text? Because it says at the beginning of your end step, if you attacked with a creature. So this doesn't even need to attack, right?
You can attack with anything. You can attack with your tokens.
So this doesn't even, so this just 3-drop, you attack with your 1 mana, 1/1 flying, and you get the trigger.
Yeah. It doesn't even need to be in play when you attack. You just gotta cast it like before your end step.
Oh wow.
And you get the card. It's so good because you get your card that turn. So with Bob, Bob is awesome, but your opponent gets to untap. They get to kill it with something, with a lightning bolt, with a fatal push. This is a lot easier to get the card off of because, worst case, it's going to be really hard for your opponent to kill this at instant speed on your second main phase before you get a draw. So worst case, you're at least cycling. And best case, it sits out and is just a Dark Confidant that draws you an extra card every turn and makes you win the game. So even the worst case isn't bad.
It's almost like this is almost like you're definitely getting the first draw off of this, because if they use a removal on your attacking creature, they probably won't even have one for this, and then you obviously fulfill the requirement of attacking, and you just get your free card. Mm-hmm. Wow, this might actually be the best rare I've seen.
Right, so
it is a pirate.
Synergies, blue-black pirates you were talking about. I think this card's really good. I think this card's very good. It's a respectable body, too. 3 mana, 3/2.
That is pretty good. That's good. I like this. Seth, you definitely are right about this one.
Hey, every once in a while.
And then you flip your Awakening Sun's avatar. It's like, oops.
We're starting to get, I didn't even see the Fathom, I knew about it, but, you have Fathom Fleet Captain with Menace. You have a lot of evasive creatures now in Pirates.
I think Pirates is going to be a real deck.
Which I think was the point.
It's going to be good. Out of all the tribes in Ixalan, Pirates is the one I'm most confident in can be a real standard deck.
So, real quick, before we move on, I don't want to take too much time. Blue-black or Grixis? Do you feel it needs to be, stay 2 colors, or does it need to splash for Beckett Brass?
I'm leaning towards blue-black right now, but Admiral Beckett Brass is powerful, so we'll see. But I'm leaning towards just straight blue-black. Maybe we'll see some crazy red pirates, but so far, apart from the Lord, It seems like all the good pirates are in blue and black.
But you need red for lightning strike, a braid.
Yeah, you're right. But Richard, you do have some counter spells. Like we still have disallow and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We have ceremonious rejection. Yeah, we have like all that stuff still.
How good would the mana be in Grixis, though? Is
That's
the other question.
That's the main point.
Because you only have one fast land, right? Or do you?
Well,
do
you
we
have
two?
you have unclaimed territory too.
Oh, yeah, that's true. And you still have Ether Hub, so maybe like Harness Lightning, Energy Pirates. Then your mana would be insane if you have 8 free 5-color land or 5-color lands. Then the mana would be.
This.
Yeah, it seems like a really fun deck.
You have unclaimed territory. You have Aether Hub. Yeah, I'm liking this. I'm liking this a lot. All right, you heard it here first. Grixis or blue-black pirates. Pen it in for standard.
All right. That's all the spoilers we're going to talk about. We still have a couple more days of spoilers, and then the full set is revealed this week. Is that right?
Yeah.
I think it's 2 weeks. I'm pretty sure because we have HasCon this weekend where there will be spoilers and spoilers next week, and then the end of next week we'll get the full set.
I think it's the 15th we get the whole set. It's usually 2 weeks before the pre-release.
So how many mythics are left? Anyone know? 1, 2, 3.
I'm not sure.
I think maybe 4 or 5 now that we got that hideous blue card.
The card that shall not be talked about ever again.
All right. Did you want to just really briefly bring up arenas, Richard?
Yeah. Made an announcement about another announcement. So Magic the Gathering Arena World Premiere happening live on Twitch September 7th at 1 p.m. Pacific, so 4 p.m. Eastern, featuring Amaz, Gabby Sparks, Jimmy Wong. They're going to reveal Magic the Gathering Arena. Who's excited? Is this going to be Hearthstone?
Curious.
I'm very curious given these hosts.
It's got to be Hearthstone-ish. It's got to be somewhere between Magic Duels and Hearthstone. That would be my guess. I don't know why you would have Amaz do it if it wasn't Hearthstone-y and limited-y. Those are the two things that I think of when I think of Amaz. I don't know why you would get him if it wasn't somewhere in that area.
Well, who would you put instead of Amaz?
LSV?
Literally anyone.
Qian, any of the Star Magic people?
This is definitely... I know it looks suspect, but I'm having a strong feeling it's not dual.
What do you think it is then?
I think this is the...
MMO?
No, I think that... No. I think the MMO would probably have some weird name, not this. Like, I don't think Magic Arena really sets the tone for an MMO. But maybe I'm wrong. But I feel this is the not watered down, but condensed, very fast-paced, Hearthstone-like experience that we've all been kind of pushing for. Like, I think it'll just either have, you go in, you do drafts or whatever, maybe even standard, but I think this is just focusing on, like, standard decks and fast-paced, like, drafting and just standard. And then that will be their kind of product to lead us into a revamped MTGO where you get, like, everything.
So, question. Are you expecting full Magic rules in this game?
Just condensed to standard.
Yeah.
Like, you think you can disallow people?
Rules, but it'd just be standard or something, like not modern.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, they have to incorporate, obviously, all the base rules of the game, but it's just condensed to standard, so there's no, like, banding or, like, any other stuff like that.
Interesting. I think that's possible. I also think just limited is a possibility. Magic Arena is Hearthstone limited. It could quite literally be that they're naming it that because that's what it is, like the Magic version of Arena, so...
Alright, what if it's Street Fighter? What if Arena refers to...
So, like, Jace for Chandra's...
And it's like Jace versus Chandra throwing fireballs and...
If this is a MOBA, that would be pretty successful, too.
No way. I just cannot see, though.
I think so.
It would be a fool's errand to try to break into the MOBA market.
I thought that, too, but there's obviously enough room for different people to keep entering, even with, like, Dota 2 and League of Legends around. mean, there's definitely more of it popped
You
up
mean like the
in the last
8
couple of
million
years.
mobile MOBAs in the App Store?
Yeah, and like Paragon and like a couple of the other ones I can't even remember now. But there's definitely a market for it.
I just hope
even if it's smaller.
it's good, whatever it is. If it turns out to be
Yeah,
like
that's the main
Magic
thing.
duels with just like some new art, it's like, was this really necessary to wipe everyone's collection? Like, I hope it's new and innovative, and it actually gets people playing Magic.
That's the main thing. Yeah.
All right.
Fish
mail.
Fish mail. Let's try to get this through these as quickly as we can.
All right. If you have your questions, send them to @MTGGoldfish on Twitter with the hashtag MTGFishmail, and we'll get to your questions. So, JDHD, regarding this week's sports chat, what are your worst/best injuries you guys got? I used to play rugby league, so I've had some bad ones.
I had a very bad high ankle sprain. And it took a very long time to rehabilitate. I actually pulled the muscle off the bone, and it was so bad, and there was pinholes in my bone, and it took a long time. I mean, it still bothers me.
Doing what?
Was not worth it. Football, sorry. American football.
Yeah, I broke my foot playing football a long time ago, so I think that's the worst injury that I ever had.
Carpal tunnel from doing too many Magic spoilers. I actually
Really?
broke my leg doing parkour. It wasn't anything exciting. I was literally just running on a slanted surface, and my leg snapped, which was very exciting. I just fell over. I'm like, what the hell happened? And oh no, my leg. No, this is the worst injury that came out of nothing. So
yeah, initially, it's bad. I mean, I initially thought I broke it. I heard the pop, and I was like, "Oh,
you heard
God,
that too? The bone snap? You're
I heard,
oh.
Yeah, I heard the pop.
And it doesn't hurt yet.
It was
because it hasn't hit you, but you heard it.
Yeah.
You're
yeah,
give
you're
it a
like,
moment,
"Oh
and then
man, this could
there's
be."
the pain.
I really hope this
There's
is
the
not.
pain.
Yeah, could not walk at all.
All right, Juan Pepe the Fourth. Does the change in Planeswalker status mean they're available as commanders in EDH? Nope.
No.
Unless they're
No,
already
no,
the
and this-
Planeswalkers that you can use like Teferi.
Yeah. So unless there's specifically the clause, the commander planeswalkers, you can't. And I believe Sheldon confirmed that.
All right, next question. 11 Vicious. I'm switching the cat tribe colors to Naya and building Crazy Cat Lady with Mile. Any ideas for good fling cards?
Ooh.
Fling?
Off the top of my head.
What do you... I actually don't have any good ones off the top of my head for Naya colors.
I haven't built a fling deck in a while, so I can't recall.
Oh, actually, no. Copper Hoof Vorak. I learned this one in Commander. It was consistently a 40-40. It's a 2/2 for 5, I think, but it gets +1/+1 for each tapped permanent your opponents control, which means in Commander it is awesomely huge for 5 mana. So that's a good way to one-shot your opponent with Flame.
Is that the one from the original Meriden?
It is, yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I know that card. It's like a boar or something.
Yeah, I think it's a boar.
Yeah.
All right, next question from Zerlik. Do you guys plan on making popper content for Goldfish again? I'm sad to learn of Jake's departure. We've been getting a lot of requests, so I think we gotta do something. We gotta figure something out, Seth. A lot of requests for popper.
Yes, we got to find another Jake. Not that we could ever replace Jake, but another pauper person.
Yeah, you can't replace Jake. That was really unfortunate.
At Zach Wheels, Combat Celebrant, Orc Shaman, Glorybringer equals standard OTK combat phases. Is this magical Christmas land? What's OTK? One turn kill?
One turn kill.
One turn kill.
Yeah.
Hearthstone turns. Tisk tisk.
Probably Magical Christmas Land.
What is Orc Shaman?
Yeah, what does Orc Shaman do?
I gotta look this up.
Is that the one from Ixalan?
It's not showing up.
That's because it's not name.
No, it's the
something.
skin shifter. It's the skin shifter.
Is that the copying thing?
the one the 0 one? Oh yeah, we all learned you don't get exert.
Yeah, you don't get exert.
So
with
You do
it.
not. So super bad. My apologies. Super bad card. Don't even.
In theory, though, I think what the combo is, you attack with everything. the shapeshifter thing becomes a combat celebrant. You can't exert the first combat, but after you untap, you can exert the second time because it's already a copy of it until end of turn. So you do get, 3 combats in a turn? So maybe that could work, but I definitely think it's Magical Christmas Land. I think that's an against the odds deck, but it is a sweet idea.
I mean, as far as Magical Christmas Land, it's only 3 creatures. It's not like that bad, and one of them has haste, the one that you really want, the Orc Shaman. So,
but they're like 2 really bad creatures and a Glory Bringer.
You would need like a 4-drop. Wait, is Celebrant 3 also?
Yeah, they're 2 3-drops and Glory Bringer.
Oh, yeah.
I think this can be done. I don't think it's as, it's not that like I need 7 cards and then I gotta draw the exact right card off the top. This is only 3 cards.
You could do like, yeah, maybe not. Oh, that's a shame.
All right, next question. Denim Scum, do you think the new Jace might suggest an overall power level drop in future walkers in light of the rule changes?
I doubt it.
Nah, not really. I think it's just bad Jace.
No, I think there will still be some strong walkers. So far, I would say yes, because Huatli and Jace both seem pretty balanced. But I don't think that'll be the case for, going forward forever.
All right. Next question. PJ Tomps 9667. What are the chances WotC breaks standard on purpose for Dominaria for nostalgia and also money?
If there's ever a time when we could get lightning bolts and counter spells and those type of things in standard, I think Dominaria is our best shot. But I think the odds are still pretty low. Yeah.
Likewise.
Come on. Counter spell. This is the time. This is the
Just
time.
give us Mana Leak.
They can't put Mana Leak on Dominaria. That's just wrong.
Why?
It's too watered down. They need Urza to like rise from the ashes, slap Jace, throw some counter spells around, and lightning bolt someone. Like that's what they need to do.
Wait. Mana Leak would be too watered down for standard?
No, for Dominaria.
Oh. Yeah, maybe.
I mean, if you want to, I hope they don't do this, but I hope they just don't make like Shivan Dragons and Sarah Angels as the callback. If they're so bad, you're not gonna play them anyway. I really do hope they put some powerful cards in. Next question. Mean Pork. What is a non-magic subject each of you know more about than both of your co-hosts?
Ooh. Well, I have 2 degrees in art, so maybe I would hope it was that.
I'd probably go with music, although I don't know how big of music fans Richard and Chaz are actually, but I would guess that I would win the music category.
I know nothing. It's all hipster music to me.
I listen to a lot of music. Does that count? Like I don't know what the terms of.
You can define it however you want to.
Oh, okay. Well, I listen to a lot of music, so there's that.
Non-magic subject? I don't know. Programming, maybe. It's where my degree is.
I'm like,
rock climbing. I can not die. I don't know.
Yeah, I have 2 degrees in digital media, but when it comes to music set too, I'm like my mother, where apparently every song is just from Bad Company. So I'm like, all right. I'm like, you know this song? And he's like, yeah, Bad Company. It's from Bad Company. I'm like, all right.
All right, Hawks fan Alex. Who is more attractive, Pirate Booty Jace or Gideon?
What?
Jace cutting Castaway with his new, muscular arm showing, or classic olive-skinned Gideon.
I'm going with Gideon.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think I would go Gideon too.
I think it's widely. I mean, I don't know too much about this, but apparently Gideon is the epitome of a Chad for everyone in the Magic community. So
I think Jace is supposed to be emo pretty boy, but I don't really see him as that. It's just weird with his shirt half ripped off. Why would you do this? he's trying to fit in with the pirate crew and it's not working. Next question. L. Raster read a recent article saying Ixalan would have surprise reprints. Birds seems like a good fit for Ixalan. What say you? Birds of Paradise on an island?
Ooh.
I mean, it makes sense,
I
but
really hope
but
so.
given that
but
we've
no.
seen these 2-mana Mandadorks in the set already, Drover of the Mighty, I don't think so.
as sad as it sounds, I think that article is referring to Lightning Strike. that was the reprint. They got us.
Yours would be good for Dominaria,
Yes.
though. It wouldn't break standard.
Oh, what?
Would it? Do you think that's like...
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I didn't
there's
think about that. I think it does break standard.
You don't lightning strike the bird, Richard. You don't lightning strike a bird.
Just go all the way. Lightning bolt, birds, counterspell. I don't know what you
Yeah,
get for
let's
black.
do it.
And
Yeah, actually, you know what? Let's do it.
Yeah, just one
Birds.
time.
Yeah, you get
what would
birds.
the black
I don't know what
card?
black would get. Black gets Dark Ritual. Black gets Dark Ritual. Red gets Lightning Bolt. Green gets birds. Blue gets Counterspell, and white gets Healing Self.
It's like the Ancestral Recall cycle, like, where the other 4 cards do absolutely nothing.
No, what? All 4 of those would be great. I just don't know what white would get. Swords.
Swords.
Yeah,
Yeah,
give Swords to
swords.
Plowshare.
Black might
Swords
have to be
Plowshares.
like reanimate or animate that. I think Dark Ritual would be a step too far.
Nah, let's do it. It's either if you're gonna be a bear, be a grizzly bear. Okay.
All right, next question. That one, Okazaki, Dredge was exactly my concern when I asked the MTG Fishmail question about therapy in Modern. Thanks for the response. Yeah, Cabal
Anytime.
therapy.
Yeah,
It's
welcome.
too scary.
Yeah, that's way too scary.
69 Griggs, 420. How do you deal with Brewer's Block? I got bored with my usual decks, sometimes, and I can't think of anything new to build.
I just usually look over cards. I'll sort in different ways and filter in different ways, looking by format and sorting by colors and rarity until I find something that tickles my fancy, I guess. That's normally what I do.
All right, next question. Eldrazi-tron, is there going to be a Commander 2017 Commander Clash?
In November.
Oh my god. I'm triggered already.
There will be, but they don't release the cards until the middle of November on Magic Online. So because of that, we got to wait a bit.
Let me get my rant
Nice.
off here. Magic Digital
right.
Next is a joke until they actually release cards on time. Like, you can't tell me the promise of this new organization of Magic in the future, and they literally cannot print or create products, with the correct release dates. And not only is it delayed, but only a select few cards from Commander 2017.
That's
will be
so.
released.
That's the dumbest thing. That's so silly.
It's like they've had years to do this, right? It's not like the Moto team
So
was
crazy.
informed on August 25th, hey, there's a new Commander product coming out. They've known about this. They just did not allocate the resources to make these cards on Magic Online.
The kicker is just like releasing some cards and not other cards. Like, what's that about?
Well, cards that are easy to implement versus cards that
Well,
are
of
hard
course,
to
yeah.
implement.
Like, I'm glad you're giving us the 5-mana vanilla card from C17. Like, thanks, everyone.
They're waiting to
think-
see which cards are legacy playable before they implement them.
Yeah, exactly.
That was exactly Tom's theory, is that they don't do it right away because they actually want to wait and see tournament results so they know what cards they don't have to code in if they don't show up in Legacy.
If they get banned, wow, that's crazy.
All right, Xenos Fan 2. When attacks at the beginning of combat makes Skin Shifter unable to copy, exert, and attack
Yeah.
triggers. Sorry.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, super bad. Yeah, our bad or my bad. What bad card?
69 Griggs 420. Have you considered making more legacy and vintage content? I'd love to see against the odds in vintage.
It's rough. Eternal formats are just so hard to build budget or against the odds decks with because they're so powerful, but hopefully we'll get to it at some point. Sooner or later, I would like to have that happen.
Next question. DJ Kensai, what does the new large set only release schedule mean for Moto redemption windows?
That's a good question. I'm assuming that they're going to leave it at like 6 months, but we don't know for sure. It would be pretty crazy if we have a 1-set block and they got rid of redemption when the next set released. But it hasn't really been announced yet, so we just got to wait and see.
All right. Gateway 71, best memes. What are your favorite memes?
I like
It is not magic related, apparently. Magic related, not magic related.
I like the one where it's like, okay, sir, have a nice, like, okay, whatever, and he like drives off in the car. It's like Shaq. What is that one? Oh, it's so funny though. Okay, understandable, and something like "Have a nice day." I like that one a lot.
I actually have no idea what you're talking about. I've like
It's like a
missed it
Shaq. It's the
altogether.
thing. It's the one with Shaq, and he's like something, and then there's a response, and then it's like, okay, understandable, have a nice day, or something like that. It's so funny.
I've never seen this.
My Redditing is failing me. I haven't seen that in a while.
Yeah, I don't know a lot of these memes, but I know that one for sure. It's so funny.
My favorite is like, don't let this distract you from the fact that, you know, the Warriors blew a 3-1 lead, that the Falcons blew every time I read that.
Yeah.
It is so hilarious because it keeps getting added. Like every time there's a new upset, like that, the comment chain just gets longer and longer. And
yeah, that is pretty funny.
If you're a fan of one of those teams that just blew it, like, oh, you'll never live it down. It just keeps getting brought up over and over again.
I'm not much of a meme person, really, so I guess I would go with, I don't know, probably the classic "This Is Fine" with the burning dog house one, just because it applies to so much Magic stuff and it gets used all the time.
I don't get hugely sucked into the memes thing, but a couple are very good. Like the one with the person like blinking their eyes when someone says something like crazy. I like that one too.
Next question, Ermeet, can you explain the rationale of those in favor of the reserve list? Indeed, the first print retained its value. See beta price.
Oh, this could almost be an entire podcast.
Isn't there only like
some
one
people,
reason?
The TLDR is some people think it would actually really hurt the game, and that the reserve list is necessary to keep people's confidence in the game up. That's the main argument that I've heard from people.
TLDR is basically a lot of the cards aren't really required for a lot of to play a lot of the Magic game, like Magic as a whole. And Seth is right. I mean, as much as it would be great, I do think it would have some negative impacts on it.
I don't agree that it would have negative impacts, but that's what people tell me. But go ahead, Richard.
Also from Ermi, do you find it okay to buy cards from people unaware of card market value? Does most of MTG finance revolve around it? So I guess this is like some kid opens a mythic worth $50 and you open a mythic worth like $5 and you trade. Is that okay?
That is no. That is not okay. If you're taking advantage of some of a situation like that, I would say don't do that.
I think
there's a store who you would have it all depends. Like a 10-year-old or a 12-year-old that opens up a pack, gets a $50 card, probably doesn't have as much of a the knowledge to be vested in the market. But a large vendor who doesn't update their prices, you have there's that. You would think that they would know the market a little bit better. That's a little different.
Yeah, I think it's very contextual. I think it's 100% wrong to lie about prices or to rip off people like we were talking about, like not knowing the price and taking advantage of it. On the other hand, when I was buying collections all the time, if someone put up a Craigslist post saying $200 for this collection and it ended up being $800 worth of cards, I never felt bad about that. Like I'm doing a lot of work to like dig through the collection and stuff like that, and I always just chalked it up to the person like not wanting to do the necessary work to get the value from the collection. So they were happy, they got their asking price, I made a little extra money. So I think there's a lot of context to it, but you should never rip people off. That's my bottom line.
Yeah, if there's an expectation that's set, that's one thing. But I'm agreeing with Seth there.
What about
there's definitely a lot of context.
Garage sale dream scenario. Some person has like a box of Magic cards. They list it for like $10 or something. You open it and there's like 50 dual lands in there. What do you do in that scenario?
I might buy them and sell them and then try to go back and give the person money afterwards. I would be afraid. I would not want to lose the deal altogether, so I would be afraid to be like, "Oh, you should be charging more for these." That the person would just be like, "Oh, I'm not gonna sell them then." So I would maybe go at it that way. Try to like buy them and sell them, but then make it fair. Like I think I've seen this before on what's that Pawn Stars show? Like I think I've seen people do similar things before.
I see.
I wouldn't. Yeah, that's a tough one too. It's like so many different ways that can go.
All right, next question. Tall Tim, can you revisit Wizards' data insanity? Is it too hard to analyze the impact? The meta feels good, but is it?
I think we just can't really parse it out yet. Like, the meta has been good recently. The problem is with all the bannings and stuff, I don't think you can really correlate that to Wizards cutting back on deck lists. I think that it's way more likely it's that they finally banned the cards that were making Standard horrible, but we can't really say that for sure. So I think we gotta wait until a more stable Standard to see what happens.
Yeah, Edie Vanta had a similar question. Do you think the diverse Standard is caused by WotC limiting 5.0 decklist information?
I am starting to feel like maybe that's a contributing factor, but I don't think it's as big of a factor as we think because I think just Standards is just good.
They're finally gotten all of them out.
Yeah. I think just Standard's good because it's good.
All right, that's all our fish mail for this week. Thank you, everyone, for sending them in.
Nice. All right, everyone. We are past that time. Anything really quickly out the door for anyone who is in the impact zone for the hurricane? Be safe. Be safe. Prep up. But yeah, other than that, this is the crew signing off. We will see you all next time.